Welcome back to the Pain Game. Subscribe if you're new. Today we are talking Conor McGregor ahead of his big fight. There's the fight poster against Max Holloway, the rematch. And we're going to get a bit of insight today into just where his head's at ahead of this rematch, because he's done a really revealing interview with Ariel Helwani that I'm going to react to. But before I get started, I want to give a big shout out to Young LA, my sponsor for the day. I wear their clothes all the time. If you follow me on Instagram, whether I'm out and about in one of their tracksuits, or I'm training at the gym, or they've got loads of clothes that you can just hang out in and go out in. Get on their website right now. They've just done a big restock. It's well worth a look. I mean, there's a lot of gym stuff here. They've got all sorts of stuff. Definitely check it all out. And use my code TRUE, that's all block capitals, all one word, TRUE, at checkout for 15% off. And you know what? I got to give a shout out to Ariel before we get started in this interview. This guy has earned his place in the MMA world. I've been watching him for like 18 fucking years. And I know when you've been around for a while, like there's always something negative people can say about you. But the guy's worked his arse off. He's put out quality content. So shout out to Ariel Helwani.
And so why did it take so long?
It's a fucking devastating injury I came through. I came through a devastating injury.
You were back to fight Chandler.
I was back to fight.
Why 2 years post Pinky?
Yeah, that is a question for the Ultimate Fighting Championship, not for me.
This confuses me because the UFC, apparently when you're under contract, they legally have to offer you 3 fights a year. And I totally get why it would be in their interest to freeze Conor out, to not let him use those fights up while he's still young enough to do the last 2 remaining fights on his contract and then go off into the sunset and make money and make another promotion big. But I thought they had to offer him fights, and we all seen the state Conor got in that period of his life. So I'm just confused as to who's to fucking blame for the absolute disaster that became of Conor McGregor's career. Because yes, the rise was amazing, but for the last sort of 8 years, it's been an absolute shit show. I think it was a shit show for longer than it was good, in fact. And it's a shame because of the talent he has that it has been just wasted.
When would you think they would put me back in?
The second one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
April 2027.
It's locked in.
It's almost a year later.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous to me. I think no.
Why is it locked in already?
Because they know he's only got 2 fights left on his contract. So when he has that last fight in April, they want him to be as old and as useless as humanly possible to another promotion. The younger he is, the fresher he is when he gets out of this deal, the more damage he can do to them. That, for me, is one of the motivating factors why they've fucked him around consistently for the last 6-7 years. And unfortunately for Conor, he was fucking himself around at the same time.
Are you, when you step foot, going to be the highest paid fighter for one fight in UFC history? Is this the highest amount? Because they have to offset the pay-per-view, right?
I'm breaking my own records, Ariel. That I am already.
Sure.
So yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Can you give us the number?
No. You know, I won't even see this flash, Harry. I don't wear watches no more. I do. I have my lovely watches. But man, I'm different, brother. I'm different. And I find myself in a fight still. It's daily. The rent is due every day. The old ways that don't serve, and new ways and a new version of me, and the new man I am. I find myself in competition sometimes with it, or you know, in a battle with that. So I won't. Man, money isn't. It's not the be all end all. It's not life. You get me? So I don't. I won't be flashing money. I will not be. I done the Forbes list. I won the Forbes list. You won't see me on it again. You won't see me on it again. I won't register to go on it again. Look what it brought to me. Look what it brought to me. Still, even now, I can feel it somewhere. Oh, he's back. This is coming in, and there's forces that try and get their claws on you in this life, and I don't want to give it energy. I don't want to give it life. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not mad on discussing finances and things. I keep myself modest. That's how I live my life.
This was very interesting, this bit. And I love how he started saying, I don't wear watches, as he adjusts his very expensive watch. Dressed like he always dressed, like over the top, the hat, the whole thing. What is that orange hat? What the fuck is going on there? But look, he's speaking like someone who is trying to grow and is hoping to grow as a person, and feels like they've moved past the old version of themselves to some degree, even though he was really struggling to finish some of those sentences, because you could see it's still there. It's still him, still part of him. That braggadocious, arrogant, money mad guy. And when he says he's sort of over money, I'm like, well, thank God, but took you long enough. I think a lot of people who come into any form of like good money in their life, and I'm talking well below what Conor McGregor's made, they have a moment where they get a bit carried away, right? They learn, they grow, and they realize this isn't everything. There's so much more important things to life than once you can live comfortably, everything else is a bonus. And it goes to people's heads, and then they come back to planet Earth. They have that epiphany a long way before McGregor did. McGregor literally had to lose himself completely. He went off the fucking deep end. We all know this. I'm not saying this to be a knob to him or anything. Everyone knows it. He knows it. Everyone knows it. And I think it is slightly embarrassing that he had to get to such an insane place before he's talking like this. But like, thank fuck he is talking like this. There's some redeeming qualities there. There's some sense of like a smidgen of humbleness about the guy now. And when he says talking about money, it does him no good. He's really talking about the version of himself that the money enabled to come out. Because being rich just enables you to be the biggest arsehole you can be without having to worry about the repercussions. It's not the money itself, it's what that allows you to do. And that's the ugly version of Conor McGregor we were all exposed to, in my opinion. And when he's saying, I don't want to get watches anymore, it's that version of him, that egomaniac. That's what he's actually afraid of. I don't want to be that person because I know the road that leads to, and I know the decisions that version of me makes. And obviously, he can't get rid of the money. I mean, he's probably doing a fucking good job of trying, but he's trying not to put himself in that frame of mind so that he doesn't become that guy again. And this isn't a personal attack on him. This isn't, I think you all know me by now. I don't give a shit that he said anything about me. I could care less. I'd pretty much given up on him as a human being because I've never seen a fighter like go that far before where they become that much of an arsehole. And I'm thinking now maybe there is hope. Maybe there is hope for him to be a better person again.
How are you winning that battle? What are you doing to win that battle?
A lot of internal work. I've got a lot of people behind the scenes to help me. A lot of discussions. And again, it's ongoing. The rent is due every day. It's like training. You have to train for a fight. You have to train your discipline. You have to train your skill set. It's the same thing.
When you look back at the...
Only it's akin to being on a tightrope. And the tightrope is going across this office, across to the next office with a very high fall. You know, the stakes are very high. So you better stay balanced. You know, you better stay balanced. Because people, even I was saying to someone else there, you know, when you're making inroads in yourself and working on yourself, sometimes when you're down in a place, you don't feel anything else. You have no emotion. You're reckless. You're going. You don't pay no attention to nothing. And then when you eventually, with most people and all people, they must put that work in on themselves and get themselves back into a steady state of living. That is the time where the rope is even thinner. You get me? The balance, you need to be even more balanced because the fall is even higher then. It's if you fall when you're in this position, you don't give a fuck. You might even do it out of, you know, just to do it. So I'm in the state now where I'm keeping my balance.
Spoken like a man who has had a serious problem with addiction. Like, that's what he's alluding to. Obviously, he doesn't want to say those words because he likes to portray himself as the strong guy all the time. And, you know, lacking the ability to keep a hold of yourself. It's not the way he wants to portray himself. But this is the reality. And he should just be honest about it, to be fair. And I think he's being as close to honest as he can be, to be fair to him. And when he says, like, you know, if you fall when you're already down there, it doesn't really matter. But when you build yourself back up, if you then fall and you then fall off the wagon, then it's a big drop. That's exactly what he's talking about, addiction there, for sure. And look, I hope this is him on the straight and narrow because it was sad. You're someone who I admired McGregor a lot, especially on the come up, obviously. His clarity of mind, his intellectual ability in talking was really impressive. And he went from that to slurring and just, it was fucking sad, wasn't it? And that's why I called it out, you know what I mean? I was like, this is sad. This is a serious fucking problem we've got here. And obviously him being in the frame of mind he was in didn't take too kindly to someone pointing out the obvious. But I said at the time, if you had better friends around you, you wouldn't be on camera in this fucking state. So, you know, hopefully these people he says he's talking to are helping with addiction, and I think that he's probably getting therapy for it, in my opinion.
Do you have regrets?
No. God knows my heart. And the things that I've gone through, you know, a young man, I came into all this. I forgive myself for what I for what I forgive myself for disgracing the position that God put me in, which I've done many times, and I won't do it again. And that's where I'm at today.
He's right. He did disgrace himself. At least there's a sense of like reality there now from him, because sometimes it just felt like he was lost. When you look at the way the Irish people used to talk about him in the early days and how much he was a hero, and look, I'm sure he still is a hero to some of them, but he has made Irish people generally ashamed. And what he could have been, he will never be now. He's blown that forever. And look, people make mistakes sometimes to some degree, like that can happen. You're always going to be hated by some people when you reach a certain level of superstardom. But when he says, I don't have any regrets, I forgive myself, and God knows my heart. In life, it surprised me how many people can do things and then forgive themselves and rewrite history a little bit. And I'm not saying that that's what he's doing here, but I've seen this a lot. People often lie about what happened in the past to make themselves feel all right with what they've done to people. And when he says, I forgive myself, what about the people who you've hurt? Do they forgive you? Should you not regret that at least? Like, I know the whole thing is I wouldn't be the man I am today if I didn't make mistakes. Yeah, but like some of your mistakes really would have fucking hurt people from what I've been watching. As much as people don't want to have regrets, because it's hard to live with regrets. That's what being a man is to some degree, is actually looking at your past and looking at those regrets and having to live with them. That's quite a hard thing to do. You got to be strong to live with regrets. But it's also healthy. It's also part of life, a part of growth, of actually having to let that sit there and go, yeah, I fucked that up and I'm not going to let that happen again. And I think for him to say, I have no regrets after the way he's behaved, it's astounding to me. Like, that actually blows my mind. That I think if you're trying to show you've grown as a person, you kind of have to acknowledge that you have hurt people and that you regret that. And him saying, well, I forgive myself. I mean, I get it. Like, you got a lot of things very young in life. It was very fucking hard. Most people would have made a bit of a mess of it. You made a massive mess of it at times. And as much as McGregor likes to portray himself as this very mentally strong person, there's many people who've had just as much money thrown at them as Conor McGregor who haven't fucked it up anywhere near as bad as he has at points. I think he really struggles with discipline. I think he really struggles to hold shit together sometimes. And he actually struggles with temptation and pleasure seeking and avoiding that. And as mentally strong as he likes to make himself out, he is actually not as mentally strong as he likes to make himself out, in my opinion. And for him to just say, God knows my heart and I forgive myself, I mean, I don't think he's quite there on his journey yet when the way he's speaking.
I don't have regrets. I'm happy and thankful for the lessons that I learned on the way.
It's very me that. You've humiliated people who love you, in my opinion. So yeah, to say there's no regrets there, I just find that surprising.
You say that word rock bottom. It feels profound when you say it. When was rock bottom?
Well, a few dark moments, Ariel. A few dark moments. But I relished the opportunity to show my strength. I was put in the position to showcase my strength. So I stood up and showed it, and that's what I done.
He said he stood up there. I'd be interested to know when he stood up, because I'm not discounting his change or anything like that. Like, I'm not saying that he hasn't changed or he can't change, but I think we're still yet to see that outside, you know. Maybe inside of his four walls, he's become more of a family man, more of a religious man. It seems he's mentioning God a lot. That's great if he has, and hopefully that's the case, and good for him. But I'm not sure we've seen that evidence yet that he has fully changed. And my worry for him would be, he's come back to fighting. He's obviously speaking a lot better than what he used to be speaking. But fighting, you have no choice but to be disciplined, because you know if you're not, you're going to get your fucking arse kicked in front of everyone on camera. It's a lot easier to maintain that discipline and be balanced, as he says, when Max Holloway is waiting to beat the shit out of you. Can he do this after fighting? That is going to be the real challenge, and we've seen that for many fighters.
For sure. I know you want me free. You want me out here.
I don't want
me out there. You want?
Why?
I don't know. I just get the vibe. You want me?
I want every fighter to get what he's worth, and I don't think you've been paid what you're worth.
Yeah.
So
sure.
if that's malicious on my part, then I apologize.
I'm the highest paid. I don't want to get into this finance, but I'm the highest paid times fucking. Probably 4 times the highest paid.
Look, I'm not going to talk about money. I'm not about that anymore. I'm the highest paid. And I'm not saying that this means he hasn't changed at all. But McGregor's his own worst enemy. And no one knows that more than he does, I'm sure. And this is in him. It's just dying to come out. This braggadocious character.
Times 4, maybe. Probably even 5.
He can't help himself. He just can't fucking help himself.
Nah, look, Max is alright. Max is good. Max is my son. I sunned Max when we fought those years ago, and I'm going to do so again.
He's gotten a lot better since you last fought. Would you not agree?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't see much.
Oh, you know when people touch their nose, they're lying. When they say a fact and they tap their nose in any way, usually, not every fucking time, obviously, sometimes you just have an itchy nose, but usually it's a giveaway that there's an element of not the whole truth.
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't see much.
Since 2013?
No, I don't see much. I don't see much difference now.
There's a lot. There's a big difference. Max Holloway that fought Conor McGregor the first time, like look at that face. That's the face of a young lad who's like, nah. He knows that this level, this Max Holloway, you're getting the real fucking deal this time, in my opinion. Are you getting prime Max? Maybe he's heading out of his prime a little. The skills that he's added to his game, the experience he's got, the man strength that it's another level entirely.
I'm not going to say I don't rate him. I don't rate any of them. So it's on me now, with my date set, to go and show that. And that makes me happy. Rather than me sitting here and spouting to you, oh, but this and that. And then it's nothing, it's just words. I'll say something now, I've got my date to show it. And that is when I'm going to show it.
I like that. That I really like from McGregor. This is like a little less of a... Because he always talks the talk, right? And here is where he's going, I'm just going to fucking show this. And that is more confident than what he was in previous fights. That's spoken like a man who's been putting in the work and believes in the work that they've been doing, which I think has been a problem for McGregor over the years. I'm not saying that he hasn't had good coaches or anything like that. I just mean, I feel like he called the shots too much and it became a problem.
What I am most looking forward to is the bout, the walk, the fight, the announcement, the crowd, the exchanges, and the dominating performance that I plan to put on.
One thing about McGregor that was always really impressive to me was he seemed to fight with less nerves than pretty much any fighter I've ever seen in my life. That was actually something that I don't know if he got the credit for, in that I never looked at him and thought, you're nervous, you're shitting yourself. It was full steam ahead every time. But 5 years out of the cage against the guy who's always fighting, in Max Holloway, generally speaking, it's going to be interesting to see how confident he looks in there. Because this, the first time you've heard that crowd again, the first time you've got the gloves on, you know this guy's coming to take your fucking head off. You can train for that, but it's not the same. It's going to be a long time since he's been in there. And the last time he was in there, remember mentally, he was carried out with a leg that was broken in half. That's a test of mental strength a bit for Conor McGregor. Can you have that same level of calm, cool, collected confidence that you were known for? Or will there be nerves?
About an hour ago, UFC posted a statement regarding the New York Times article that linked you to the Dr. Neil Elatrash and his, diagnosis.
Shocking.
Which
a man's private medical, the most devastating injury that you'll see in combat sport. The whole thing is strange to me. You have an injury like that, you're not going to walk again. The objective should be to get that athlete, that fighter who's given his life, his limb, his livelihood for the entertainment of the people and for the profit of the company. It should be get this man back on his feet. And that was not the case. Not with the UFC, but with the former body that was there prior. And I find that strange. And I find that wrong.
You sort of basically used this whole thing of McGregor clearly taking testosterone of some sort to repair a broken leg, to lash out at the UFC and insinuate that they were gotten rid of, I think, because they weren't going to allow that, and the UFC sided with McGregor, and they tried to make it out like it was some sort of underhanded thing. I actually completely agree with Conor McGregor on this. I think if you break your leg like that, you should absolutely be allowed to take stuff to heal properly and medically recover in order to finally get yourself back on your feet, back in the cage. I don't think he's saying a fucking thing wrong here at all. I don't think he's done anything wrong about the leg break. Just to be clear. Don't clip that up, you bastards.
You have been linked to Ilya a lot over the years. People saying that he reminds us of you and all that stuff.
No way, does he? He has the same tattoos, he says the same stuff, he does the same fucking movements. He was going to scream on the thing. He has a case of, great, good lad, he's alright, I like him.
He's alright.
I knew that was going to happen to him.
Really?
I knew by his...
Why?
I just seen the train and you need to get it put on you in the gym. You need to get it put on you in the gym. If you're not getting it put on you in the gym, I've been there myself. People, you have to kind of say, listen, you better. Here's $1,000. There's $1,000 cash outside the octagon. If you can drop me, if you drop me, you get that $1,000 cash. You know what I mean? It's the type of stuff you need to be doing. You need the guys coming at you.
You do that.
To an extent, yeah. To an extent. You need a bit of both. But there was too much the other way. Walking forward with their hands down on the opening bell, you're going to get walloped. He's a bit flat-footed. He has his areas. He's not fully complete. He's not a full complete fighter.
You know what? I do like McGregor's analysis of MMA. I actually do. And this is the thing is, it's funny he's saying all this because he's made all these fucking mistakes. That's why he knows, man. You got to get it put on you in the gym. This is what I'm talking about when I said he calls the shots too much. He's made these mistakes himself.
What would you say to him? Because you've been there before where it felt like everyone
Well, he's
piled
not
on.
been there. We only bled my blood once inside the octagon. I've only bled my own blood once. So I've not been in that situation. He's got banged up bad over the course, which caused him to quit. It's going to be a dark place that he's in right now. He's going to have to dig deep. Can he do it? I think he could.
For him to say that's never happened to me, you got knocked out. You weren't able to sustain that level of beating Topuria got because your chin couldn't handle. When you became the nail against Dustin Poirier, you didn't last 2 minutes. Boom. You were smashed to bits. So to be fair to Topuria, all right, McGregor's face has never looked like that, but you didn't last as long as him.
I didn't ask you about Gaethje or Islam. Those are the two champions at 55 and 70. Do you think about the belt, or are you bigger than the belt?
No, I'd be after the belt for sure.
Okay.
I think Gaethje is, when he's on, he's good. He's okay. But when he's off, he's atrocious. And, I fancy him handily. I fancy teeing off on Gaethje.
That's the fight. If Conor McGregor beats Max Holloway beat Justin Gaethje. So the UFC can legitimately make Justin Gaethje versus Conor McGregor immediately. And you put Conor McGregor in a fucking title fight. If he has a really good performance against Max Holloway, which feels very unlikely, but let's say it happens. What a fucking fight. Because Justin Gaethje's stock has gone through the roof after the White House. I mean, he's a bona fide legend now. That would be a fucking amazing fight. And that point was pretty much the end of the interview, actually. McGregor, is he changing? I think he is. But I think it's going to be a constant battle and one that he might get knocked down in a few times more before he eventually comes to the point that you kind of hope he would come to. But at least we're seeing some resemblance of a humbleness about him and just speaking like a man who's actually learned a thing or two over the years, which I think for a long time, it was amazing how he wasn't. God knows what we're going to see from him in the cage. I really have no idea because that injury, that layoff, any other fighter, I'd say no chance. They haven't got a chance of beating Max Holloway. McGregor is a bit of an anomaly. He's done things that we were really amazed by before in the cage, but it's been a long time. And he certainly, he looks older. He physically can't be the same guy he was before. So how is he going to adapt? What is he going to show us? Who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm interested to hear your comments. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to The Pain Game, and I'll catch you on the next one.